Modern love is based on instant gratification and superficial connections, leaving many yearning for something more substantial, something that can fulfill us beyond just physical pleasures and material gain. However, Sufism challenges this idea of love with its focus on authenticity and trust when dealing with matters of the heart. Rooted in spiritual devotion and genuine affection, Sufi love offers an antidote to the shallow understanding of love present in today's society. Join us as we delve into the heart of Sufism and uncover the transformative power of true, unconditional love. Our quest begins with an exploration of the very essence of a Sufi, a seeker of divine wisdom and love. Sufism is a branch of Islamic mysticism focused on inner spiritual growth and direct experience of the divine. Practitioners, known as Sufis, follow spiritual guides to purify the soul and cultivate awareness. The term Sufi likely originated from Arabic suf, meaning wool, symbolizing the ascetic lifestyle of early Sufis. Tasawwuf, or Sufism, is often referred to as the path of the Sufi. It entails a journey of spiritual growth and transformation aimed at attaining closeness to God and achieving union with the divine. Sufis follow the teachings of spiritual guides or masters, known as sheikhs or pirs, and engage in various practices to purify the heart, awaken the soul, and cultivate inner awareness. Alternatively, some scholars believe that it may derive from the Greek Sophia, highlighting Sufism's emphasis on inner wisdom and enlightenment. The paths whereby Muslims approach God can be classified under three broad headings: knowledge, activity, and love. Although the Islamic tradition recognizes that God can be approached through knowledge, activity, and love, it rarely considers the three paths as separate from each other, as Islamic thinking is unitive. As for love, it is seen both as God's motivation for creating the universe and as the internal human response to God's love for creation. By following the path of love, human beings complete God's creative act. According to a famous saying attributed to Muhammad, David asked God, "Why did you create the world?" God replied, "I was a hidden treasure and I loved to be known. Hence, I created the creatures that I might be known." In another passage, he explains the meaning of God's love to be known while commenting on the Quranic verse, "And He is with you wherever you are." 57:4. Love is a name given to God's attribute of never letting the creatures out of His sight and always being concerned for their welfare. Rumi frequently points to love as the fundamental motive for creation by commenting on a divine saying addressed to Muhammad, "But for thee, I would not have created the heavenly spheres." Through love alone can the hidden treasure be completely known, which is through achieving the whole man or al-insan el-kamel. In Sufism, love reigns as the central theme and driving force behind the spiritual journey. Love, as Ibn al-Arabi and Rumi agreed, defies any singular definition that can define its essence. They argued that love eludes linguistic constraints, that it is only given descriptive and verbal understandings. They both express in their respective books, Futuhat and Diwan, that attempting to define love is akin to not truly experiencing it. This divine love is referred to as Ishq, which is the ultimate goal and driving force behind the spiritual journey. Ishq is not merely an emotion or sentiment, but a state of longing and yearning for union with the divine. It is an all-consuming passion that transcends the limitations of the ego. Its significance lies in its transformative power to dissolve it and awaken the soul to the reality of divine love. Through the intensity of Ishq, the seeker experiences a shift in consciousness, recognizing the divine presence in all creation and surrendering completely. In the words of the Sufi poet Rumi, "In your light I learn how to love, in your beauty how to make poems. You dance inside my chest where no one sees you, but sometimes I do, and that sight becomes this art." Rumi. It is the catalyst for spiritual growth and purification, leading the seeker through the stages of Fanā and Baqā. Fanā refers to the dissolution or annihilation of the ego. It is the shedding of all attachments, desires and illusions that veil the soul's true nature and obstruct its connection with the divine beloved. Baqā, on the other hand, follows Fanā and refers to the nourishing or abiding in the divine presence after the annihilation of the ego. It is the state of spiritual realization where the seeker undergoes the transformative experience of Fanā, emerges reborn into a new consciousness characterized by union with the divine, and finds a sense of peace and inner fulfillment in the divine presence. In the context of love, Fanā and Baqā illustrate the journey of the lover towards the beloved. God made the world with love. Love causes things to be separate and different. It makes everything move and change. Rumi said that love is what makes the world keep going. In one of his poems he says, "The creatures are set in motion by love, love by eternity without beginning. The wind dances because of the spheres, the trees because of the wind." Diwan 26:108. Love doesn't stop after creating and maintaining the universe because God's desire for knowledge, which involves being known through love, isn't fully fulfilled yet. Existence isn't enough for the universe. Even though creatures exist as a result of God's love, most of them don't realize their true nature or understand that their own desires reflect God's love. For creation to fulfill its purpose, humans need to recognize that everything is a manifestation of God. They must see themselves and everything else in a divine light and acknowledge God in the world around them. In short, all love originates from God and is directed back to Him. To say there is no God but God also implies there is no love but God's. Therefore, as Ibn al-Arabi states, only God truly loves God, and there is no lover or beloved apart from God. Lovers comprehend this truth when they reach the stage of seeing God in everything that exists. The lover sees that he sees God only through God, not through himself, and that he loves God only through God, not through himself. It is God who loves himself. It is not the lover who loves him. The lover looks at him in every existence, thing by means of him. Hence the lover knows that none loves him but he. God is lover and beloved, seeker and sought. Futuhat 3:31-17. It was seen that Rumi as well gave a lot of thought and inscription to reason when revealing God's imagination. Love is always present, yet in typical situations, it often gets scattered and squandered because people become distracted with mere reflections of the beloved. This emphasizes the importance of knowledge. He frequently highlights the necessity of healthy judgment. True love, he suggests, requires the ability to differentiate between genuine gold and gold-plated items. He says, "Love makes the bitter sweet, love turns copper to gold, and love makes dregs into pure wine. Love turns pain into healing. Love brings the dead to life. Love makes the king a slave. But this love results from knowledge." Mathnawi 11:15-29-35. Rumi also explains that the connection between man and God can only be achieved through ingenuity by acting on the Sufi view. Based on this view, man cannot know God, but God declares himself to man. God is like nothing, and nothing can be God. If God does not want it, it is not easy to grasp any truth. Therefore, if the soul borrowed by God matures, and needs by the degree of loveliness and gains access to it, then it means to melt, to disappear, and to come to the real spot. The painful yearning for union in Sufism, which is felt in one's separation from God, is encapsulated in love as well. This sensation of longing for the lover to reunite with the beloved symbolizes the inner conflict and strife arising from the transient nature of existence, as one grapples with the inevitable aging of the body while yearning for unity with the realm of God consciousness. This pain is incurable, yet the Sufi embraces it willingly, preferring its presence over a life devoid of the longing for union. Paradoxically, this pain is imbued with a sense of joy, the fullness of being alive, passionately in love, yet separated from the beloved. Rumi says, "I have inherited a pain from the friend which I will not exchange for 100,000 cures." This pain, also labelled as heartbreaks, represents inner growth and self-discovery. The vulnerability of heartbreak compels the seeker to confront their deepest fears and insecurities. In the absence of external attachments, the individual is afforded the opportunity to go on a voyage of self-discovery, unfettered by societal expectations or constraints. That's why one must not fear falling in love, as that one its own will be hindering the process of inner transformation as a whole. As Rumi professes, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. One way to see this love is through Dhikr, or remembrance, is a common practice in Sufi tradition and is a direct pathway to deepen one's connection with the divine. It involves the repetition of sacred phrases, names, or verses with the intention of keeping the heart and mind attuned to the presence of God. Phrases like, "There is no God but God." By continuously invoking the names of God or reciting passages from sacred texts, a heightened awareness of divine presence is reached, and love and devotion is developed. An example of Dhikr practice can be found in the Mevlevi order. In their Sama ceremony, members engage in a rhythmic and meditative form of Dhikr, accompanied by music and movement. As they whirl in circles, they recite the name of Allah with each breath, allowing the physical movement to become a vehicle for spiritual ascent. As participants whirl in graceful circles, they outstretch their arms and open their palms, which symbolizes the reception for divine grace, inviting blessings and guidance. Slowly, they enter a state of spiritual ecstasy and transcendence and experience oneness with the divine. Also known as an act of surrender, where individual identities dissolve into collective energy, symbolizes the annihilation of the ego in the ocean of divine love. The dance symbolizes the soul's journey towards spiritual enlightenment and union with the divine, reflecting the cosmic order and eternal cycle of existence. In today's fast-paced world, the timeless wisdom of Sufi teachings on love offers invaluable guidance for navigating life with grace, compassion, and authenticity. Applying Sufi teachings to contemporary life involves integrating the principles of divine love, compassion, and spiritual connection into our daily interactions. Sufi teachings emphasize the inherent unity of creation, urging us to approach every encounter with reverence and respect, recognizing the divine presence in others and all things, and to see God in them all. Love, as understood in the Sufi tradition, is synonymous with kindness, compassion, and mercy, encouraging us to treat others with kindness and compassion, regardless of differences or disagreements, thereby sharing positivity and goodwill. Because love holds the power to transform relationships and kindle personal growth in remarkable ways. It has the capacity to heal emotional wounds and mend broken relationships. By approaching relationships with love and compassion, we cultivate a safe and nurturing environment for healing to unfold, enabling us to release past hurts and cultivate deeper connections with others. In essence, love is as central to Sufi teachings. It transcends mere emotion, driving seekers towards union with the divine. Through practices like Dhikr and Sufi music, individuals deepen their connection with God, experiencing moments of transcendence and ecstasy. Applying Sufi teachings on love in everyday life offers invaluable guidance for developing compassion, kindness, and authentic connection, enriching relationships, and contributing to a more harmonious world. Ultimately, Sufi love serves as a reminder of our inherent unity with the divine, guiding us towards personal fulfillment and spiritual realization.